We are back for another week of action here from Woodbine, and it is not going to be as hot today as it's going to be coming up on the weekend. And somebody's picks who's going to be very, very hot this weekend is right to my right.
I hope so. I hope so. I saw that. We're going right back up to 33 on Saturday, on Sunday, on Monday. You know, we've had a little bit of relief. You guys didn't get any rain here yesterday, but there was this really bad pocket, and I just happened to be in it yesterday. Torrential rain, hail, wind, and of course we were all at the barn too, so the horses were losing their noodle as well. And then it just turned out that 5 minutes away, no rain there.
Nothing.
5 minutes away, no rain there. It was just a pocket. It totally flooded us out.
And we desperately need it too. We need the rain. Now, unfortunately, there is rain in the forecast right now for plate day, but hopefully that does change.
Oh no, Jeff.
I know.
I can't do it again.
I know. But it's a long way away, so let's hope that it does get changed nonetheless. So last Sunday here at Woodbine, we'll take a look at some stats and tidbits that we want to pass along for you in here. Favorites, they clicked at a 20% rate. 10 different trainers won races on the Sunday program.
Yeah, you know, it's nice to see Amanda Cameron back in the winner's circle on the Sunday program, but I think there were two stories, well, maybe three. Number one, we know Yorktons want to go long. That's something we've learned. Number two, Marcus J is a monster.
Got a good buyer too, like 78, 79, I want to say.
Yeah, he's a really neat horse. And Westside Tide gives us a race that is turning out to be a key race in Wagstaff, who will compete on tomorrow's program.
Want to give well wishes to Omar Moreno, was involved in an incident at Fort Erie during our dark days. I want to wish him a very speedy recovery. I saw on Facebook that as one Flores is starting to get close to his comeback, which is great. Nothing in terms of an update from Emma Wilson at this point, but we want to wish her a speedy recovery as well. And it's one of your favorite people's birthday today.
Oh yes, Chris Lohman.
That's one of them.
Okay,
you have a bunch of favorite people. This
else?
guy works on the gate.
Oh, Ian Ross.
Yes.
Yes, I saw. They were making fun of him, saying
they said he was 80 years old.
I know, and I say today is the anniversary of his 29th birthday. Ian looking fabulous for 45.
So happy birthday goes out to Ian Ross. We have some workers of the King's Plate variety. This morning, our cameras were out there. One of them worked with a very, very good horse as well. We'll recap that for you coming up a little bit later on. But as per usual, whenever I work with Elisa, we do have to put her on a time watch because sometimes she does.
I chat a little?
You go a little ahead. So thus, the clock is rolling right now.
Didn't I get the right job, though, for somebody who talks too much?
Yes, you definitely did. And topic one says, wide trip. And we're going to talk about race number 3 coming up on the program. So who specifically are you going to speak of that did not have the best of journeys last time?
Well, I want to show you the trip for El Cohete, right? Because he went 5 wide back on July the 6th. And I think he's setting himself up. They're setting themselves up for a really big race from him here today. Of course, we know that DePaulo had a big weekend. He had a lovely stake win on Saturday with Stanley House, and they're just going to try and keep the ball rolling with El Cohete. Now, what's interesting about this as we watch the replay, and you'll see him go wide here, and this has turned out to be what we would call a key race, because Gilt Edge has been a back-to-back winner. Summer Commander came out of this race to win a couple of weekends ago for Stu Simon, and then, of course, El Cohete finishes in the 3rd spot. He's raced against some good horses, too. You know, speaking of the Rosses, he's been against It's Time to Shine. It was a 4th place finisher to him in the comeback race. He's worked a bullet since in 57-4. Now that's just something we find from this barn. A lot of them will work fast, but he's worked a bullet in 57-4. He gets a new pilot here today in Sahin Savachi, which is interesting because Rafael Hernandez opts to stick with the 3. It's a stormy Monday for Don McRae, who's going to try the grass for the first time, but on paper it feels like it's El Cohete's race to win.
I find it intriguing too that DePaul is going to give this horse another shot going long. Because, you know, for the most part, they've sprinted this guy, but he has run well going long, too. He's run some very, very good races, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, but lately now, if you think about trainers that can get him ready to go long on the grass, it's Mike DePaulo.
Did you see the buyer of that
What did he get?
He got like a 98.
Wow. Unbelievable. And he
we're
did
speaking
it
of Stanley House,
so
by the way.
easily, so easily.
That's great. So I'm with you.
Only Doug's going against him.
Yeah, but in other words, Pierre, you know, the thing that's nice about Pierre is you know, he's coming off a gutsy win last time out. He seemed to wake up with the addition of blinkers. And just in the natural progression, that last race was 40 on 2. Now we're getting 40 on winners of 3, so I don't mind that as well. We got to talk a little bit about the pace of this race, and could potentially El Cohete steal it up front here because there's not overabundance of speed in this race.
You might see Stanley House 2.0 today.
You might.
In a sense. I mean, I'm just saying, he might go to the front and keep on going.
Yeah, it's a possibility. It is a possibility. And that portable rail is out today on the turf course as well, so do make a notation on that. As the rails will obviously be out because we want to make sure it's in prime condition for coming up a little bit later on with the King's Plate races, right?
Absolutely.
So race number 3 going a mile and a 16th. Let's get to topic number 2. It says pick 4. Alrighty, let's talk a little pick 4. This is the start off portion. And the race office here at Woodbine, they love to play some mean tricks on Lisa and I. And what do? To start off the pick 4, they give us 7,500 claimers.
I know.
Non-winners of 2. Now, has the light bulb gone off here with Maryland Spirit? Because remember, she got a wicked bob to win that race last time out.
She did. And she's going out for the Hot Debbie Rhombus barn and dropping. The maidens for 15, now dropping into 75 to face non-winners of 2. But I want to take a price horse in this race because I feel like you can. And that's the 6, Lil Star for Hannah Springer. This is a small little barn. They only have this horse, as far as I know. This is the only horse in the outfit. Man, she tries every time. You know, she's come back this season. She's lost a couple tough. Well, she lost her first one back in a tough bob, and then I guess the maiden 15 was either just a little too tough for her. You know, you notice that the second place finisher, Leona White Blaze, came back to win. That's a nice horse. And then she won for 10, but she had to fight it out to get the win. And that's what I like to see from her here today, is that she shows a lot of grit every time that she races. Last start out facing winners for the first time. You know, some people think, well, maybe she lost her best friend. She actually ran pretty good to finish in the 3rd spot. So I'll cheer for the little barn here with the 6, Lil Star. And then I'll use Maryland Spirit because, you know, we're looking at $7,500 claimers. So it's a crapshoot on any horse that you pick in this spot. So why not take a horse at a price? I think Get Out the Vote is interesting too. Moran tried the horse last start out, but go back to the rider who's had the success with this horse here today for Eric Reaganoff.
The Moran's TV stars this morning. They were on Your Morning on CTV. You know, I've done that show once, had the privilege of doing it once. I had to take the TTC down.
Yeah.
These guys had a car pick them up.
Of course they would.
You know why? Because Tyler Gaskin said they're celebrities, and I'm not.
You are.
I'm just a regular Joe. So let's get to topic number 3 here. Repeats. All right. Can somebody repeat here in the 5th? Who specifically is Ms. Blow speaking of that she thinks might be able to repeat in this spot?
Well, I'll tell you who it is. It's really easy. It's hard to capture.
Okay.
Because the race could set up perfectly for this horse today. You got Speed coming from Summer Snow, who's making the return back to Woodbine after being claimed. I don't know what happened to her at Fort Erie, but she got demolished there. Now, maybe she wasn't a fan of the dirt course. What I think is going to be interesting to see if maybe the Galileros come back and take a look at her today.
Thinking for
for $15,000. And so we know she does get reunited with her old buddy Sofia Vivez. That's a good thing. But boy, did she ever have a stinker at Fort Erie. So here she is for $15,000. She'll be the speed, and if she starts to fade, watch out, because Hard to Capture might be licking her chops and making a big run. She could just stalk that 8 horse. Don't stay too far off of her, because remember, she's got to go 5/8 of a mile here today. 5/8 isn't much of a problem, but she's been going 6.5, right? So you just don't want to have her too far out of it.
So you're a good friend. I ask you to be honest with me. I value your opinions. I ask you a lot of stuff about all aspects of my life.
You do.
3-0, the 2. Am I getting sucked in with a drop?
You might be. And you know what's funny? The barn's going kind of quiet right now.
It's been quiet.
And I do think, look, sometimes you just got to get back into the winner's circle. And with a barn like this with, 80 horses to choose from, you're going to drop a few wins so you can find yourself back on the positive upswing.
I am worried about that pick, but I had to pick some.
I know.
Spot,
what I want to know is if Summer Snow goes home today or not.
Yeah. Topic 4, Late Surge. Okay, let's touch on this. We're going to get to race number 6 on the program. And who specifically are we speaking of here in regards to the Late Surge? Is it one Wild Red that kind of sparked your interest?
Sure is, and I got a replay to show you too. So this is a Bill Theranis horse that will most likely go off as the favorite. You look at some of the others in here that are taking drops. They don't have a ton of experience. You got a first-time starter in this race. You have horses very light on experience, but this one's pretty interesting to me. So we watched the last race, and we're in along the rail, and Ruthless Action is going to end up being the winner, by the way, and then Jinx Me was a horse I think that a whole bunch of us were on because the horse didn't get a great break that day. But watch this, because we're in behind a wall of horses with this horse right now, and you're thinking, all right, Jose, like, where are you going to find some room? And there really isn't much. And then there's a little tiny spot there that he can zip through, and he got lucky because it didn't shut off for him. He got really lucky. And then there's another little little tiny spot for him to zip through here. And he ends up racing very well late to end up finishing in the second spot. Now, look, what I like about Jose is, and I've seen this work to my favor, he will switch to the left-handed stick at the last minute, and it's a great move. Watch the gallop out from this horse too. He gallops out up on top, looking really sharp here. I just think today's the day for Wild Red, taking that drop.
Yeah, and you know what? That was a speed-conducive racing surface. And another thing too, consensus play, that surprised me, because I think this is a really salty maiden 25. And why? Because you would like to touch on this. What just came out about 2 weeks ago? The old sales catalog.
Yeah, sure did.
So a lot of people are dropping, trying to get some money for the sale, and Wild Red is one that might be able to get the graduation pass here today.
And not only are horses dropping, so because they need to make room for the sale, but some of these horses have siblings in the sale, and that's what you want to see are maiden wins. Because once the mare, say the half to some of these horses is in the sale, if it wins, well, your value goes up. So that's all good too.
So here's Robert with a first-time starter, and this is one that's going to go postal for Patty Dixon. And Robert's got two in here. Wait till you see this next photo. You're going to love the next one. Look at that.
Aww.
So cute. Forrester's exec.
Oh, that's my... Oof. I have got on the Forrester's exec bandwagon so many times. Now, today I used him in the fourth spot, but this is that filly from the crazy exec family.
Yeah.
She could be anything. If she just could get that win, I think they could keep on coming.
We have a collage of Robert's photos on today's show.
Yeah.
Wait till the next one might be my favorite one of the year. That we'll show you coming up a little bit later on. Okay, so that's topic number 4. Topic number 5, full gate. Well, it was a full gate. Yeah. Some have now come out of this race, and some have been re-entered. Others are vet scratches. So 6 furlongs. Your classic maiden 10 claimer to wrap up the day. And Cheat the Devil looks kind of obvious, but it looks too good to be true, so I'm trying to beat Cheat the Devil.
I know, but even I thought the same thing. And I think in my lifetime I've seen enough maidens for 10, right? Like, especially for the last race on the program, that you can kind of sort through which ones to me are automatic outs and which one you want to kind of keep in the mix. But isn't this turning out to be a budding a jockey-trainer combination?
Well,
Leo
listen,
Salas and Mike
they're going to team up on the plate. They had a win with Stanley House the other day.
Horse has taken a massive drop, but raced against some good ones, including Dolce Fortuna and Sills Gamble. And, it feels like this is it. It's now or never time for the one horse in this spot. I did use the 4 as well, featherweight, lots of experience. But I think Lasix really helped this horse out last start out with a good 3rd place finish. This is second start Lasix. Oh, my gosh.
Is that not the best photo ever?
That needs to go in a frame, Robert. Now, if he could just get brave enough to open the gate and go in and crawl in with featherweight,
that's so
they could have a little nap together.
That's a great picture. Yep, featherweights. One that's had a lot of chances coming off a 3rd place run last time. But I'm going towards Sky Divine with a drop. Don't see Austin Adams riding a ton for the Drexler Barn. Boy, I'm banking on the Drexler Barn getting back into the swing of things. They look really good, though, coming up in some of the races on Saturday's program of races.
Yeah, they have a couple there. Let's trying to think. Gloriana. Yeah.
So we'll see. That's good. They got to get out of this funk at some point. Race number 8 has that rather large starting gate there. And let's get to topic 6, plays of the day. Okay, my friends, my plays of the day were as cold as a freezer last week.
Well, we're going to heat it back up again. This Runaway Maxi, remember this one?
Yes.
Now, we're going to talk about this in race number 2, because that was a race in which that was declared a no contest, and it doesn't show up when you're looking at the past performance, which I was like, why can't that show up? It's a little deceiving, right?
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that one. El Cohete on the stretch out today for DePaulo, beat the Fave hard to capture. I like hard to capture if she can reel the other horses in, and then Wild Red, I think, should be able to get the maiden score in race number 6.
Do we have any similarities? Yeah, we got Maxie in there. My repeat threats, Maryland Spirit. I really like Empty Gesture today. Now my price is gone with Stolen being scratched out of that race, and my price play of the day is out. That being Songs of War. Pierre, that's what Doug's going to go for his best bet of the day. And you can play the double with these two gentlemen. Race 3, Pierre. Race 4, Ron says Maryland Spirits for him at odds of 2-1. Clocker horses, we have those to keep an eye on, and you'll be very happy to find out who the Clocker horses today, because you've got this horse on top, and this is hard to capture. And hard to leave off the Devin Gittins barn right now, coming off that big run last time out. My concern is a bit of a regression today, but the fact the horse has worked well since that last race, that's a positive
I like
sign.
the way Sky rides this horse, too. She rides her with a ton of confidence, so I'll be watching for her and cheering for her, too.
Topic number 7,
Oh,
schedule.
this is a big one. This is
a schedule note for the fans, but also a schedule note for my co-host,
Yes.
who sometimes calls me and says, am I working today? And I'm like, yes, you need to show up for work today. So here we go. You ready for the schedule for next week?
I think I'm becoming like your Randy, aren't I?
It's a little bit of an odd, because we don't race on Thursday. And the reason for that is because, of course, we want to have all these races for the King's Play program. So the draw is going to take place on Tuesday. And then we have Friday post time of 1:05. King's Play. Oh, I didn't know that. Glad somebody told us about the post time.
Good thing somebody told us about that.
Apparently we raced at 12:45 on play day.
Okay, good to know.
That's good to know. And then Sunday post time will be at 1:05. So there, you learned 2 things there, Lisa.
Jeff, you don't have to worry about me coming into work late on plate day. Woodbine has put me up in a hotel.
Well,
I will be here on time.
But sometimes you say, oh, I'm going to go to Fortino.
I need a coffee sometimes, Jeff.
King and Queen's pick 3. I'm definitely playing that. We're going to have mandatory payouts when it comes to pick 6, the high 5. We have the guaranteed early pick 5, guaranteed middle pick 4, guaranteed late pick 5. And we guarantee some great racing action when it comes to the racetrack as well. And there's a look at the Kings and Queens pick 3. The low takeout is a thing of beauty, and it's a $5 base bet. I got to play that wager.
We're saving up all our money. In fact, we're gonna hit 4 pick 4s this week.
Oh, okay.
Positive thinking, and then we'll have tons to play with.
Alrighty. Are you ready to like some King's Plate work
I
this?
am.
All right.
I am.
So the first one we're going to look
rationals.
at, you and I watched this earlier, and we're kind of initially like, worked okay. But then we found out who the workmate was. So Notorious Gangster is going to be on the outside and works with Play Me a Tune. Play Me a Tune is a solid older horse. So Play Me a Tune's on the inside, and on the outside is Notorious Gangster. Because Gangster's never really going to get by, but that's okay.
Yeah, because we know who it is.
You're working against an older horse who's far more seasoned than you are in here, and it's not a bad move.
See, before we found out who Gangster was working with, we knew just visually that this had to be an older horse, because just look at the neck and the muscle. And also, you know, she was kind of putting the brakes on there a little bit because he probably loves to work. But I like this pair up, right?
Yeah.
Put one of your senior vets, like one of your best horses, with one of your best young horses and see what happens. Now, right, not too far from here, you'll see Fraser will decide, maybe I'll grab from my stick, and he'll reach back, his stick's in his pocket, so he'll reach back here, grab his stick, and really, I don't think he used it. No. He just kind of put it in his hand to remind him that it's there. But now that you know who he's working with, that's great work.
Like, you're going to look at that and say, well, you know what, didn't work the company. The company's pretty darn good horse. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that work. So kudos to Notorious Gangster. Now, the wild card in the race is Runaway Again. Now, Runaway Again's got a kind of a cool family. So the Dam is a half to Awesome Again, who won the plate. Now, this horse is really light in experience. On the inside is Red Samurai, who's a decent horse. Good older horse for sure. And Ryan Munger worked Runaway Again. Obviously will not be riding the horse because he's going to be riding Sudbury's Ghost. Javier Castellano's going to pick up the mountain here. But what I like here is how this horse finishes up this work.
I do like this work, yeah. And you know, the inside horse, like you say, he's no slouch.
Yep.
So they're both Cititard trainees because you want to work with your own horse, right? So and you try to match them up to find, you know, the right horse, because you don't want to have something that you can't get close to, and you don't want to have something that you blow the doors off of either. And you want to kind of do this and keep them together and keep them interested. So nice little work. What I like is that Ryan's just sitting.
And puts away this inside horse coming up in a couple seconds.
Ryan moves a muscle. Look at this. Yeah. And the gallop out on this one is pretty impressive as well. My guess is he just chirped to him a little bit, and that's the work that they got. That's an impressive
watch this. Just stick with this now, because now he really asked the horse.
Right there, past the wire. And you'll find a lot of people do that. They'll ask for a little bit more past the wire. It's a great thing, because especially when you're teaching a young horse, man, you don't want to teach him to pull up at the wire. You want to teach him to keep on going.
You know what? He's good enough to win this race. If he gets beat, it might be seasoning that gets him beats.
He's very lightly, very lightly raced. That's a pretty nice
one. I like that right there. Now tomorrow we're going to take a look at Archer's Alley Answer. That one's on tape already.
No, Ashley's Archer.
Thank you.
Yeah, Archer's Alley, so that was a few years ago.
I always get that name mixed up. And then we're going to catch up with No Time, who's scheduled to work tomorrow. So we're hopefully going to grab that work coming up on tomorrow's edition here of Woodbine Racing Live. Thank you to the crew for getting up early and showing those works. Invaluable stuff.
Very good stuff.
That's great stuff. Okay, that's it. Show's done.
Yeah, let's pick a few winners.
Post time on plate day is 12:45. Did you know that?
Oh, set my alarm now.
All right, when we come back. We'll get you all set for the opener here on a Thursday from Woodbine. Good luck with all your selections.